The parent's attorney confirmed that the baby, whose legal name is Rumi, had his first surgery yesterday. McKenna West plans to push for custody of the baby, whom she calls Gabriel. Jim Ryan, ABC News in Dallas-Fort Worth.
Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management market update. Everything in the red. The NASDAQ is off more than 1% at 26,285. The Dow off about 40 points at 53,420. And the S&P 500 sitting at 7,700. That's down about 46. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:04.
$998 buys you a magnificent diamond solitaire engagement ring at Kessler's.
A solid gold mounting shows off a big, beautiful diamond, 3/4 of a carat.
Glitter, twinkle, sparkle.
This is the definitive diamond solitaire engagement ring.
You can choose a round diamond, radiant, marquise, or oval.
3/4 of a carat. Any shape you want.
Any color of gold you want.
A 1-carat solitaire is just $1,498.
Ask to see the Evermore engagement rings at Kessler's.
You're going to be ecstatic about the color, clarity, and cut of your diamond.
Evermore.
Each of these diamonds was lovingly created in the heart of a miniature star.
Your diamond will remain.
Evermore.
Your diamond was born about the time you fell in love.
You will be in love.
Evermore.
Your diamond has been waiting patiently for you to see it, love it, and choose it.
Don't keep it waiting. Come to Kessler's.
To find the Kessler's nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano talking with Dr. Mike Nolte at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Doc, a lot of people are hesitant to visit a surgeon for spine care.
The good news is that the vast majority of patients that I see and the majority of conditions that I can see can be successfully treated without surgery. And I don't want patients to think that just because you're seeing a spine surgeon means that you're going to be signing up for surgery. We talk about, in my clinic, kind of a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C.
Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference. OrthoWisconsin.com.
Ready to travel with a community of fellow explorers? Check out Fox Group Vacations with Globus. We have incredible expert-led itineraries lined up for 2027. Taste your way through Italy, witness the breathtaking waterfalls and glaciers of Iceland, or relax on the tropical shores of Hawaii. We handle all the logistics, flights, and details so you can just enjoy. Spaces fill fast. Call 866-GO-FOX-GO or visit foxworldtravel.com.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all sports desk. Brewers back at home, starting a 3-game series against the Mariners. Coming off a very solid weekend, took 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers. Currently sit with a 4.5-game lead over the Cubs in the NL Central. Manager Pat Murphy on Wisconsin's Morning News.
To have the best record in baseball this late in August is pretty surprising for anyone. Although we did it last year, it's an amazing feat for these guys, the way they compete.
Kyle Harrison scheduled to take the mound tonight at American Family Field. All of our coverage right after the 6 o'clock news right here on WTMJ. Just 3 more practices open to the public for Packers training camp. One of those is today. Green Bay getting ready for its second preseason game. That's coming up Friday night in Denver. And in less than 3 weeks, Wisconsin football kicking off the season at Lambeau Field against Notre Dame. Badgers hosting a public practice for fans tonight. That happening over at Camp Randall Stadium. Badger Sports Update sponsored by Siding Unlimited, siding and a whole lot more. Take a look at the road. Your WTMJ time saver traffic. Really not seeing any major issues, just tapping the brakes a little bit. 94 east and westbound, right through the stadium interchange as typical, but everything else looking pretty good.
Traffic is sponsored by the Amazing Mineshaft Restaurant in downtown Hartford.
The Mineshaft Restaurant in Hartford needs line cooks and dishwashers. You'll make real money. Parents and grandparents, tell your kids. Contact the Mineshaft today and start next week.
Your WTMJ forecast, partly cloudy, a little more humid today. We'll see a high around 81 degrees and then better chance for maybe some showers and storms to pop up late this afternoon into the early part of this evening. Showers then should move out of the area late tonight, a low down to 64. Plenty of sunshine, comfortable on Wednesday with a high of 76, and then mostly sunny on Thursday with highs in the low 80s. Right now, 72 degrees in Madison. We're sitting at 74 in Kenosha, and it's 74 in Milwaukee. I'm Neil Doyle, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:08.
Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue. It's time for Point Taken. Here are your hosts, Steve Scafidi and Kristen Bride.
That would be our cue to start talking. I am Steve. She is Kristen on this Tuesday edition of Point Taken. And this is we like to say Talking Tuesday. Now, tomorrow we're guest heavy.
Plenty of guests tomorrow.
Lots of guests tomorrow. Data centers, gun violence, and a lot of really important topics. Not that today's topics aren't important, but we're going to be talking about it a little bit later on this hour. The power of social media and a slap back on Meta.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Starts today.
Yeah, well, they already got slapped once, pending further, courtrooms.
But this case is like $1.4 trillion, which the judge already said was unreasonable, but also said the lower end of that is also
because I think their valuation was like 1.3, so you're not going to wipe a company out based on a penalty. But anyway, and some other cool stuff in the 11 o'clock hour, and some fun stuff as we always try to weave that into the latter part of the show. But you remember last week, I think it was last week, we had a Canadian economist, Todd Hirsch, on.
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Last week we were at the State Fair.
That's right. God, the time flies. Mm-hmm. And he talked about less people traveling from the country of Canada to the United States. And I sort of tangentially talked about the fact that I've had many conversations with dealers in Las Vegas who say, we don't have as many Canadian tourists as we had before. There's a lot of reasons for that. One is there's a certain attitude that I think Canadians feel when the President of the United States likes to refer to them as our potential 51st state. That sort of rubs them the wrong way. Why would I go visit them if the president wants to take us over? How about you found a great story about another issue, which I didn't really even think about.
Well, and I don't know if it's an issue.
Not yet.
So it's interesting. Be. So I've heard of countries doing this before, right? If you have heritage,
right.
I think Ireland did this.
Italy has some version
version of this. But, as a pro-immigration tactic, certain countries will open up your ability to get citizenry if you can prove your lineage.
You
have
a link.
And so for a while, I think for Canada, it was having your parent had to be Canadian.
One of your parents, yeah.
But then they opened it up. So it was like Bill C-3 allows citizenship for those who can prove they're descended from a Canadian ancestor, even if that ancestor left the country several generations back.
Yeah.
And so it was adopted after the courts ruled that limiting citizenship to the first generation born outside of Canada was too restrictive. So now Canada is going through the process of all of these people applying for Canadian citizenship. And a lot of them are Americans.
Yeah.
Which, because of our geographical proximity, makes sense, right? As far as people leaving Canada, coming to the U.S., and it not being such a huge hike as far as just natural immigration over generations has gone.
Yeah, it's not just geography, it's proximity, because I think the number that gets thrown around a lot is 90% of Canadians live within 100 miles of the border.
Which makes sense, right? Because otherwise you're getting into...
it's a vast wilderness.
It's like the continent of Australia.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people in the
Nothing
middle
going
of
on
Australia.
in that middle part.
And, but the article itself, because this is from CBC, it didn't get into the why of it all. It just got into the numbers of the backlog they now have. And the parliamentary budget officer, I guess, estimated that this could impact 115,000 people.
Yeah.
As far as what their backlog right now is, 121,800 people are waiting for a decision. So it's a lot of people who are like, I'm interested. And it doesn't necessarily mean there's a mass exodus of Americans.
No.
Like the Americans who applied for this aren't necessarily immediately
right.
also moving to Canada. But like, if I had the opportunity to get dual citizenship, regardless of how I feel about the United States, I'm getting dual citizenship.
Yeah.
Would you not?
Yeah, actually, because of algorithms on social media, I actually have looked into both Italy and England because I was born in England, and I have a direct, two generations back to Sicily and Italy.
There's no birthright citizenship in England?
I don't think so. It's convoluted because I told you the story. I was born on U.S. Air Force Base within an area, Wiltshire, that may or may temper that. So I don't know the exact answer. But because I've searched that, I get a lot of this stuff in my timeline. And it's fascinating because I will tell you, again, anecdotally, there's a lot of people in this country, United States, searching out options. So many, we're a country of immigrants. All of us have connections around the world in our 1, 2, 3 generations back. And I would think that Canada is the closest option, just like Mexico is, and for many people, they can go back. And there's beautiful parts of Mexico. I mean, gorgeous parts of Mexico.
And I'm interested in this, one, because there's the threat always of whomever becomes elected, I'm leaving the country.
Yeah.
And this, you hear it both ways, right? Whether it's right now Trump, but even when Biden was elected, it's like, I'm leaving the country.
Rosie O'Donnell.
Or people, if Kamala would have been elected.
Right.
And then there's some people who make good on it. I do know that there's a fair amount of people who have left. But I also think and the reason why I say no matter how I feel about the United States, I would want dual citizenship is there's just benefits of being able to travel differently. And if you do want to move, because I think a bigger thing is not the politics of stuff right now. I've read more and more about the ability to retire in other countries and how much further your dollar gets in other places, that like if you can go to Europe where there is, more walkable cities, there's healthcare, things are cheaper, like it becomes a lot more appealing to potentially use your citizenship to then retire somewhere else.
As someone who's traveled extensively in Europe, you can go to these small towns. There's maybe 5,000 people there. And I made this comparison on an old version of my show. It's like going back to, like, say, Milwaukee 1960s, where there's local shops, butcher shop, bakery. They have all of that.
Well,
and
let's
it's
take
all
a break.
fresh.
But that's the thing. It's like I think about this for people for Wisconsin's aging population, and the aging population specifically that lives in rural areas and not walkable areas, and how they get to their doctor's appointments. And then especially if you get to an age when you're not supposed to be driving, like we haven't built our cities in reasonable ways to help people who don't have a car. And increasingly, as you get older, you're not the one driving yourself to all the things you need to do to just live your life.
Yeah, and I'd love to hear if anyone's in that process or thinking about relocating or at least spending a lot of the time away from the United States. You're a U.S. citizen, but you want to spend at least a few months away. I'd love to hear that story and what you're finding out in your research. And I guess the big political question, would you ever consider moving to a different country to avoid politics in our country, which some people describe as a mess, which sometimes
people?
I describe it that way. As somebody said politics is stupid to an audience not too long ago, I think I would be that person. She's Chris and I'm Steve Point Taken. Stick around.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. When it's time for a new vehicle, I know where I'm going. Griffin Ford in Waukesha. It's where I always go. It's where I buy my cars. Bought my Ford Explorer. If you've been thinking about a new SUV or truck, now's the time to stop in. Griffin Ford has an incredible selection. 60 2026 Ford Explorers in stock, starting at just $37,790. Need a truck? They've got more than 50 new 2026 Ford F-150 4x4s in stock. Yeah, starting at only $44,775. And here's the best part. With most new vehicle purchases, you'll receive a 2-year, 25,000-mile premium maintenance plan, giving you even more value and peace of mind. With one of the largest Ford inventories in Wisconsin, you don't have to settle. You can find the color, features, and model that's right for you. Stop by Griffin Ford in Waukesha, where I buy my cars, or visit GriffinFord.com today. Offers end August 31st. See dealer for complete details. It's Griffin Ford.
Buying a new roof might not be the most exciting thing you'll do this year, but for us at Big Fish Contracting, being chosen to do that roof for you not only provides income for multiple families in southeastern Wisconsin, but has a global reach and impact around the world. To us, it's more than just a roof. We've been earning trust for over 2 decades, roofing, siding, windows, and more. Go to bigfishcontracting.com to learn how Big Fish is renovating homes and redeeming an industry.
Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on August 18th.
Curio sends it deep to left, and there she goes!
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the Seattle Mariners.
And Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh my goodness, third deck.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Delta Dental of Wisconsin. Tune in August 18th at 6:40 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee, or check your local listings to watch the game.
I've seen fire and I've seen rain.
All right, joining us on a Tuesday. Thanks for all of you who take the time to spend your morning with us. Point taken. She's Kristen Bry. I'm Steve Scafidi. And if you miss any or all the broadcasts, we always have the podcast, or just search Point Taken on YouTube. And shout out to all the YouTube folks. And you can comment on YouTube, and we'll try to weave those into the conversation as well. Great text from the 480 area code. My husband, 4 kids, and granddaughters are all dual Canadian-American citizens, so that answers that dual citizenship question, and have lived in both countries at one time or another, with our oldest son still living on beautiful Vancouver Island. It's a great thing to have. I would think that would be awesome. I got to do more research on my specific situation, because it is sort of unique.
This literally made me think, because I feel like there's an origin story on my mom's side. Because I remember there was one story, I forgot even what his name was, but I think he was living in Canada. And there's a story about him in the woods faking being dead when there was a potential bear attack. And I remember the story distinctly being told this as a child. And for some reason, I want to say he was Canadian. So now I got to go explore this, because I didn't even know this was an option.
Taking us back to the political part of this, and I mentioned Rosie O'Donnell has done it. Ellen DeGeneres.
But are they there because they have dual citizenship?
No, they just
went because they're rich and they can.
And they were mad about what happened in the
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, what do you think about that? To me, that's sort of silly.
I think the reason why I think that is specifically silly is because any of the impact of a Trump presidency, and there are people who are impacted. Obviously, immigrants and their families have been impacted. Poor people have been impacted, as we see the impact of the changes to SNAP benefits. Next year, we're going to see the impact of Medicaid. There's a HUD decision that's coming down as far as what's happening with affordable housing. There are tangible things that are happening to people based off of Trump policies. I'm not sure Ellen DeGeneres and Rosie O'Donnell are the prime suspects for who's feeling the wrath of these decisions.
You mean because they're multimillionaires?
So it's the protest move amongst very wealthy, famous people, I kind of roll my eyes at.
Yeah.
For LGBTQ people who don't feel safe in this country anymore, there's different decisions as far as safety. I know parents who think about it, because I have a fair amount of friends who are married to people who are from different countries. One of our best friends, he's from Australia. One of my girlfriends who lives in California, her husband's from Germany. Another one of my guy friends, his wife is English. And it's a real conversation now that they have kids of sending your kids to American schools with the threat of school shootings.
Yeah.
There is in the option of moving to a different country and sending your kids to a different country. I know my friends have those conversations when they have the option to move to a different place because their spouse is from a different place.
Yeah. I mean, again, there's no country that's perfect. But I mean, when you talk about some of the issues that we spend a lot of time in the show talking about, it is a concern of, especially of young parents who say, I don't want my kid growing up in that environment. Now, Texter makes a great point. Other countries also have ugly politics. Even Italy, they have ugly politics. France has ugly politics.
I'm not sure it's anywhere is thriving
right
now.
Not like this.
I think it's rough everywhere when I talk to friends who live kind of around the world. I think there's something in the air globally as far as the shift. I think some of it has to do with AI, but I think politically, we talk about this all the time as far as the swing back and forth of how many in 2024, how many change elections there were, because there is a discontent electorate all over the world.
Yeah, absolutely. There's an agitation. This is from Mark in Hales Corners. I'm a second-generation Italian-American. My grandfather was born in Sicily, like mine, and migrated to the U.S. in the 1920s. I have investigated securing my Italian citizenship, and it is doable, but not easy. And I would confirm that because I've sort of looked into some of that stuff. If, this is Mark's words, if for some wild reason Trump were to stay in office after 2028, that's not going to happen. I'd move in a heartbeat. I can't take it anymore. So that's Mark.
All right. Interesting.
Interesting sort of side note on that. And I've said this to Bill and Joe before. I don't know if you were there when I said it, but Trump keeps saying Trump 2028.
He's just trolling people.
Yeah, but don't assume it's him. There are 3 children at least that could run. And don't dismiss that like it's garbage, because he's got 2 sons and a daughter.
Well, he has more. He also has another daughter, Tiffany. Don't forget about Tiffany.
I didn't add her to the mix.
And then Barron's obviously not old enough.
Yeah. So I think that's something to think about.
You don't think Tiffany's going to run for president?
No. Well, at least not now. This is from Peter. European small cities are affordable and very walkable. But for an aging population, most buildings aren't handicap friendly with tight, steep stairs and tiny bathrooms. Yeah, that is a reality that you learn when I went all around Sicily and I've been all around Europe. There's a lot of unsmooth surfaces. It's challenging. It's challenging walking. They're close, but it's not like the smooth terrain, the ADA accessible climate we live in.
You mean like Positano, when like you're either going using steps or both.
Yeah.
So those are your two options.
You're not
everywhere
getting
you go.
anywhere easy. We'll take a quick break here. There's still time to chime. Lots of texts. We love that as always. 855-616-1620. Just warming up on this Tuesday, although it's supposed to be a decent weather day today. She's Chris and I'm Steve. Point taken.
Have you been living with pain and just assuming it's something you have to just live with and accept? Do not. I'm Julia Fellow with WTMJ. If chronic pain is keeping you from enjoying life, I want you to head to Jens Family Chiropractic in Germantown. Jens Family Chiropractic is now offering soft wave tissue regeneration therapy. It's an advanced, non-invasive treatment. It helps your body repair itself naturally. I'm getting that done on my lower back. Soft wave stimulates healing, improves blood flow, and activates your own body's repair cells to target pain at its source. If you're dealing with knee pain, shoulder pain, back pain, do not wait another day. For a limited time, your first Softwave treatment is just $57. This is an incredible opportunity to find out if this breakthrough therapy can help you get back to the things you love, like it did for me. Head to jensfamilychiropractic.com. That's YENTZ familychiropractic.com. Regenerate, recover, live pain-free at jensfamilychiropractic.com.
Bank 59 has a mission to make lives better. They make it a priority to give back to their customers, communities, and their employees. In fact, Bank 59 was just honored again by the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel as a top workplace. That makes 17 years in a row. Want to learn more about working with the great people at Bank 59? Visit bank59.com/careers. That's bank59.com/careers. Equal Opportunity Employer, member FDIC.
Picture this, a perfect summer evening, great friends, and dinner on the patio overlooking a beautiful course. That's Racine Country Club. More than golf, it's a place to relax, gather, and belong. A new energy is here, and you're invited to experience it. From great food to unforgettable events, it's a lifestyle built around community. Whether it's a quick 9 after work, dinner with friends, or a weekend with family, Racine Country Club offers something for everyone, year-round. Discover what's new at Racine Country Club. Visit racinecountryclub.com. Every homeowner has a list. That roof, those windows, that bathroom you've been meaning to update. If you've been putting off home improvements, you're not alone. At Exterior Pros and Baths, they help homeowners upgrade their homes with beautiful roofing, siding, windows, doors, gutters, and bathrooms built to last. Right now, save up to $3,000 on your next project. Don't wait until a small problem becomes an expensive one. Call 262-800-4274 or visit extpros.com. Exterior Pros and Baths. Done right, built to last.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guest, J.D. Griffith's Garage Door. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. Yet at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
Jonathan on the YouTube stream leaving a comment reminding us that a lot of other countries, specifically European countries, don't have air conditioning.
They don't.
And we know that they got very hot this summer. They got the heat wave before we did. And a lot of people died. So that is a good... And they also don't have ice.
Yeah,
at least free flowing ice like we do in the United States.
There's water shortages. The rivers are really way down and affecting tourism travel. And I lived in a high heat situation in Scotland last year for 2 weeks. It was like in the 80s, and they have no air conditioning in the hotels. Yeah. And these ancient hotels, they're not insulated. Honest to God, most of the people decided at some point to give up trying to sleep, and they just went down to the one place that was air conditioned, the lobby. Or the basements, because they couldn't stand it. It was unbelievably hot. And when you have unseasonable weather, which is what Europe's having right now, because I watch a lot of gardening shows from Europe, they have no water, and it's hotter. Sicily has been over 100 for like a week and a half. And oh, by the way, the Mount Etna's blowing its top off.
That's what I mean. Like there's trade-offs. Anywhere you go, there's going to be a trade-off.
Texture from the 414. That being said, why is it wrong to want to live where you think your values align? You only get one life to live. I
don't think that's wrong.
I'm not saying that at all. I think you should live where you're most happy. One of the reasons I consider, and I would never make the full transition because I have grandkids and I want to see them, to go live like the whole year somewhere else, but I would spend a lot of time somewhere else. It is an amazing opportunity to see what the rest of the world looks like, to meet people that you've never met before, to experience things you've never experienced in this country. In the scheme of the world, we're such a young country. And maybe that's why we struggle with a lot of things. A lot of these older countries that have been around for thousands of years, they've had experience waves of these massive problems. They've had plagues that we haven't had. They've had their version of the pandemic. They've had massive budget crises. They've had labor friction, especially in France.
Isn't France on like their fifth republic?
Yeah. So, I mean, nothing's perfect. I would think that if you have an option, I would consider it. And I'm going to actually continue to look at options that I might have based on my family history. I think that's what you should do. And everybody's doing all their DNA and they're doing their genealogy. I would think that would open the doors to some of this stuff because you can actually see what your connections are. But be prepared to be surprised because I know people who have done their DNA thinking they're one thing, but all that told them is they always said, I'm not going to out them, but we thought we were this. But their ancestors just moved to that country they're like, and nothing.
And then they found out they have like a weird half sister.
So you never know what you're going to find out on that. All right, we're going to talk about social media, the big stuff, the big owners, the big companies in social media, and a little bit of slapback, which I'm going to say right from the
little bit. This is like this is the case that is starting right now against Meta.
I'm going to say it's well deserved because they have responsibility when it comes to young people, and they are not doing what they're supposed to be doing, and that's really what these cases are about.
And we're going to talk about my brick.
Your brick.
I had to resort to a physical block for my social media addiction.
Is that because you were spending too much time on social media?
Yes.
See?
Because I might not be young, but I am addicted.
Yes. And I love the fact that you recognize that because that's the first step.
It's the first step. That's what I'm told.
You're on your way.
Admit that you have a problem.
You're marching your way to whatever that is, the eventual goal of not being.
Social sobriety.
She is Chris and I'm Steve. We're going to have a local news update from America's favorite newsman, and I think that's branded now. Neil Doyle will join us for all of that. But now here is the latest from ABC News.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. President Trump says the U.S. has no talks planned with Iran, but insists the Strait of Hormuz is operating despite limited traffic. Earlier today, the president posted an image of a map on social media with the Strait of Hormuz labeled a new U.S. territory. Iran's deputy foreign minister responding, calling Trump a delusional man. The biggest launch of Ukrainian drones toward Moscow in 2 years has happened overnight. ABC's Lama Hassan.
Once again, we're seeing a Wildberries warehouse targeted. That is Russia's equivalent of Amazon. We saw Ukraine doing this over the weekend as well. And one of the main goals here for Ukraine is to bring the war or try to bring the war to the ordinary Russian citizen. And the other reason is because Ukraine has accused Wildberries of handling military goods. We also understand that more than 5,000 residents are now without electricity in the Moscow region, and at least 200 flights were either delayed or cancelled because of this latest Ukrainian assault.
This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 1031. I'm Neil Doyle. Bond has been set for the man accused of killing 3 people in Milwaukee earlier this month.
Thomas Zelikoffer's cash bond was set at $1 million. He faces 3 counts of first-degree intentional homicide and 4 counts of possessing a firearm as a convicted felon. Prosecutors say he killed 26-year-old Vanessa De Herrera and 29-year-old Scott Buchholz near 21st and Pierce on August 8th. About 20 minutes later, prosecutors say he killed 39-year-old Shamar Laher near 39th and Townsend. Zelikoffer was arrested last week after a standoff, along with his cousin Elena Cole, who was charged with harboring a felon and 3 counts of child neglect. Zelikoffer's next appearance in court is next Monday. Nazir Spencer, WTMJ News.
The Trump administration's attempt to exclude gender-affirming care under the Affordable Care Act is struck down. A federal judge ruling that gender-affirming care must still be covered under the ACA. Wisconsin and 20 other states sued the administration. The lawsuit argued the rule would make it harder for consumers to get coverage, weaken ACA protections, and increase costs for states. Milwaukee Bucks say they have seen an early surge in ticket sales after releasing the regular season schedule just a few days ago. Bucks home opener is October 23rd against the Bulls, but one game already generating a lot of strong demand. Giannis's return to Milwaukee with the Miami Heat, that game on January 28th. Bucks president Josh Glessing telling WTMJ.
Likely will sell out very early. We're going to welcome back a player that has meant a lot to us. And, you know, there's excitement around, I think, seeing our new look Milwaukee Bucks against any team but that one's going to be special.
Bucks will open up the season October 21st at Washington. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Everything in the red. The NASDAQ is down more than 1% at 26,310. The Dow sitting at 53,330. That's off about 124 points. And the S&P 500 is down about 46 at 7,698. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Take a look at the roads, your WTMJ time saver traffic. Really not seeing any major issues. We do have a couple of disabled vehicles kind of across the system, but really none of them in traffic. Tapping the brakes a little bit as you head through the Stadium Interchange on 94, both east and westbound, but everything else looking good. As for your forecast, partly cloudy. It is humid out there, a high around 81 degrees, and then we'll see a chance for some showers and storms to move into the area late this afternoon, into the early part of this evening. Showers then should move out by late tonight, partly cloudy, a low down to 64. Plenty of sunshine Wednesday, pretty comfortable conditions with a high of 76, and then mostly sunny on Thursday with highs in the low 80s. Right now, it's 75 degrees in Green Bay, sitting at 73 in Waukesha, and it's 75 in Milwaukee. I'm Neil Doyle, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 1034.
We opened our store in July 31st of 93. And a year later in August of 94, we sold a lot of furniture that month. I'm like, wow, we make money at that level.
Ben and Arvid Huth, brothers and owners of Penny Mustard Furnishings.
Of course, we didn't have any employees yet. And so it was easy for us to make money at that level. And that is where it clicked to me that this is going to work. We can afford to hire an employee, and it's going to work. We can take it to the next level, which at that point was hiring one guy.
You said it was easy to make things work when it was just us two. Only from a profit and loss standpoint.
Yes.
But from a work standpoint, it was 7 days a week. We were doing deliveries on Sunday mornings sometimes. We were...
we didn't have any expenses.
Yeah. But we didn't have a life either.
No.
We had no life other than work.
See more at pennymustard.com.
But we were okay with that. That's the decision we made. That's the path we went down. We were okay with that.
Wet basements and foundation problems? For over 20 years, Accurate has been the Fix-It Show's trusted experts in foundation repair and waterproofing. Whether it's cracked walls, drain tile issues, or water in your basement, they've got you covered. Don't wait until the problem gets worse. Call Accurate Basement Repair today at 414-744-6900 or visit AccurateBasementRepair.com. They're not just good, they're accurate.
Just doing some roofing on another lovely Wisconsin day. No gimmicks, no shortcuts, it's just roofing done the old-fashioned way. Do you need shingles? Let's mingle, for a Wisconsin tradition never dwindles. So raise a glass, shake a hand for this old-fashioned brand. Whoop, that's old-fashioned roofing.
If you read our newsletter this weekend, my recommendation was for a book called The Chaos Machines. I'm almost done. I got a couple chapters left, written by Max Fisher, a New York Times writer, reporter, exploring how social media algorithms exploit us. And it is a problem. You and I have talked about this extensively on the run of our show. What it has done to young adults, children, the addictiveness you talked about.
I don't think it's just young adult. I think it's
everybody,
of us, right? I think older people on Facebook because they spend way too much time.
The reason I brought that up is because that's what this suit is about. It's looking at young people. So I think when we talk about companies like Meta and obviously X and all these platforms, and there's not that many companies that own because they're all sort of crossed over. X owns other things.
What are the big ones? So there's Meta that owns WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook.
Yeah.
The Snapchat,
yeah.
Which I never use.
Right.
It is there.
I never used it.
And the thing is, is YouTube a social media platform?
I would argue it's a little bit different.
And so I think it's not included in the Australia ban that came out earlier this year. There's TikTok. It's now partially American owned.
X.
Yeah. Threads is owned by Meta.
Yeah.
So there's not that many of the.
So
big,
it's like a
big
conglomerate.
Guys.
They kind of own everything, and I think it's good news that states. I think there's 29 states involved in this most recent lawsuit that begins. It's either already begun or it starts in Oakland pretty soon, Oakland courtroom, to look at what they're doing in their practices that are making these incredibly popular platforms addictive. And I think, you can talk all about, they're trying to get 1.4 trillion in damages. Whether that ever happens, I don't care. I just want them held responsible because I think there's a growing sentiment across everybody, from very young to very old, that this is a problem in our world, and countries have banned it. Countries have modified what you can and can't do on social media. We've now done things in our country in some places, not to the extent other countries have. And it even gets down to smartphone use during the day, because Wisconsin now has that happening as far as children being able to access their smartphones or phones during the day. I welcome this because I want this explored. And the fact that they've been getting away with this, I think is dangerous. I think it creates an incentive for violence because kids often are misrepresenting or misunderstanding what they see, and they can overreact, not just kids, adults as well. And I'm worried about this. And the fact that this is being tried in a court is a good thing, in my opinion.
So what's the best case scenario in
They
your
have to
mind?
change their practices. They cannot be involved in the way. One of the I guess the most easiest one to explain is, the endless scrolling that you can do, the doom scrolling. One of the corrections, the asks of these litigants is that they have to stop being able to just constantly churn your timeline, your reels, all that stuff. It would have to stop unless you searched for it. Instead of, because I've done this and I've sort of stepped away, all of a sudden an hour and a half is gone. And it felt like 5 minutes.
Well, it's not only that. I remember a time when you could run out of content on Instagram.
That was it. Oh, you've got it all.
Probably 10-ish years ago, when it was still, you were only shown things and accounts of people you actually follow. So in your timeline, if you were spending too much time scrolling, at some point, I remember on days where I was just bed rotting, which wasn't even a term 10 years ago.
Right.
Getting to the end, it's like you've caught up on everyone. You've caught up on all of your friends. There's no money. There's no other information to show you. And now you can barely see the posts of the people you follow because you're constantly just getting offered content from people you don't follow because this is what the algorithm thinks you want to see. And it is literally endless.
I'm actually, and this is not part of this lawsuit, I'm actually a fan of the idea that if someone is on one of these platforms, they can't tag you or use your name, whatever your username is, in their post. I think why should that be allowed? Why should someone be able to tag me in their post or criticize me when I'm not even involved in the conversation and actually put my link on there? I don't think that's fair. Because then what would some people fall into? They would then engage with. I know why they do it. I'm not interested. I'm not going to engage with you, but I don't think you should be able to do it in the first place. Now, it's different if you're a public figure. I get that. Especially if you're an elected official or a candidate. There may be some different rules there. But what this is doing is it's looking to protect online, that all those platforms for users and kids primarily, because there are so many significant ramifications, whether it's how young women are treated, how they're abused online, how they're targeted. I mean, not just young women, young men, young boys, they're falling into the trap of becoming more violent, and there's all sort of lots of research that says that, and I'm not going to sit here and read all the reports because you can do that yourself.
No, but they have done research where they, as an adult, as a researcher, but they will have a brand new phone, brand new account, but set it up as if they are a teenage boy.
Right.
And in certain reports of in certain instances where it's within 23 minutes, they're getting sent Manosphere type content.
And, don't even get me started on the obscenity that's on there, and it's on there. And I think those platforms should also have to monitor that because, the law of the land is community standards should apply. But, some of the stuff that you see coming through there, and it's like when you're on X, and I'm not on X posting anymore. I still have I have the platform on my phone. It is who you follow and then for you. Mm-hmm. And it always defaults to for you. And I'm not interested in, I don't follow those people. But that's what they do. That's what they make you sort of look at this stuff, even if you don't want to. And then once you look at anything, for 30 seconds to see, what the hell is this they just sent me? Then you get more of the same, whether you wanted it or not. And that's sort of this addictive thing. Now, let's take a break. You want to talk about something you specific? I love the fact that you did this, by the way. She's holding it up if you're watching on YouTube or the stream. It's called The Brick.
It's called a brick.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure, I'm going to check at the break. It's created by UW-Madison graduates.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So younger guys, Gen Z, to help with phone addiction.
So it's called a brick. We'll have you
I'm going to give
explain all that. Yes.
a full-throated endorsement, even though I'm not getting paid on the other side of this.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that because that's a sort of a way that you could individually maybe put up the roadblock to being...
Literally a roadblock.
Yeah, exactly. All right, we'll do that after the break on 620 WTMJ.
Shopping for new windows and doors shouldn't feel like a negotiation. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin doesn't believe in games. They never inflate pricing, and there's no high-pressure sales pitch. Just premium windows and doors built for long-term comfort, beauty, and peace of mind. Buy direct through Pella, and one trusted team handles everything with Pella-certified installers every step of the way. Real pricing, premium quality, no games. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Hey, it's Kristen Bry from Point Taken on 620 WTMJ. When I'm out in the community meeting listeners or hosting events, I'm told that my smile really stands out. So that's why I take care of my smile with Dr. James Michaels and the team at Economwalk Dental Care. And yes, I drive all the way from Milwaukee to Economwalk to see Dr. Michaels and his incredible staff. Because when you find a dental team that makes you feel comfortable, listened to, and cared for, that drive is worth it. Dr. Michaels has been practicing in Economwalk for more than 25 years, and his approach is simple. Treat people the way they want to be treated. Whether you're due for a cleaning, thinking about cosmetic options, or just need a dental home where you feel at ease, call Economwalk Dental Care at 262-567-7224. Economwalk Dental Care with Dr. James Michaels, the team I trust with my smile.
Don't miss out on the Labor Day sale at Ken Michaels Furniture. Our entire showroom of heirloom quality furniture is on sale. Enjoy factory discounts on exceptional brands like Norwalk, Bradington Young, Hooker, and our Amish dining and bedroom collections. Create a sofa, chair, sectional, or recliner as unique as you are with our thousands of customizable upholstery options. For unbeatable savings on better quality furniture, shop the Labor Day sale now at Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, and downtown. There's no doubt that a better night's sleep makes for better days, and a good quality mattress helps make it happen. When you buy your new Milwaukee mattress from Ken Michaels Furniture, you are assured of a mattress made individually for you out of the finest materials right from our own Milwaukee factory. We make every style, size, and firmness of mattress imaginable, and with our factory direct prices, you will save hundreds of dollars. Milwaukee mattress from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee, where better days come from a great night's sleep.
WTMJ's Greg Matzik here. Bob Sorens is the reason Sorens Ford became home of the nice guys.
I used to cut Bob's hair. One time I was running very late. In the middle of his haircut, Bob says to me, "If you gotta leave now, it's okay. You can cut the other side when you get back from vacation."
109 years later, you can still feel that nice guy attitude from the Sorens family and the entire team at Sorens Ford in Brookfield. An exceptional buying and service experience. Sorens Ford on Capitol Drive. SOERENS.com.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 255368.
At Wisconsin's own Accunet Mortgage, our closing costs are typically $1,000 to $3,000 less than the banks or the mortgage guys with the Rocket for exactly the same rate. Find out how much you can save at ACCUNET.com.
Thanks for listening to Point Take. We always love hanging out with you guys at 10 to noon here on WTMJ. So I love when Kristen takes the personal stuff and talks about it on the radio, because that's really what it's about. That's why we do the show, besides providing, I think, important information and tying that to news, relevant news. But you actually were concerned about your own social media use, and you're an adult. You're grown.
I am a full-grown adult spending way too much time scrolling. And the thing for me is that I can't just delete the apps from my phone.
Right.
Because it is part of my job.
Yes.
Like, not only just to be up to date, and that's where a lot of I get my news and ideas for the show, but also to be posting. And there's certain things you have to do on the app that you can't do on a browser in your computer. And so just totally being off is not an option. And then, as anyone who's ever tried to put up the time limits on your phone, it is very easy to bypass those. So it's like, oh, you've been on for an hour and a half today. Ignore. Ignore for 15 minutes. No, ignore for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
And I had bought one of these things. So literally, if you're watching the YouTube stream right now, I'm holding it up, and it is probably 2 inches by 2 inches, little brick.
Yep.
And it says brick on it. And I bought this a year ago, and then it just sat on my desk, and I never set it up.
So you thought about it for a long time.
And I forgot about it. And then there was enough people in my life who were like, didn't you buy one of these? And they had set it up, and they talked about how much they loved it. And so it was the same day that I started this new workout program. It was like, there was something as far as the summer's coming to an end, we're going to start making healthier choices. So it's been a week. And how it works is basically, so you have this physical thing, and once you download the app on your phone, you set up a schedule and you set up which apps you want it to lock you out of. And so as of right now, every night at 9 p.m., my phone locks me out of all the social media apps.
Why 9?
That's probably the time I should stop scrolling and pick up a book and go to bed. Yeah, I decided that. And then when I wake up, it's still locked. And so because I was also in the habit of waking up, and while I'm not like totally ready to get out of bed yet, and Mike's still sleeping, and I'm just like laying in bed already scrolling, and that's the way I'm starting my day, which is also not healthy. To like start and finish your day scrolling on social media because my dopamine brain is like, give me more, is not great. So far, 1 week in, I think my phone use is down. I was trying to check today. The analytics don't go back that far on the Screen Time app. I was trying to see if there was a more like comparison I could look at. But at least for 1 week, I'm down like 40%.
That's good.
And it's been great to, and it like challenges you when you try to open the app and it's locked. It's like you've been locked, go back to living. And so, it can like counts the numbers, how long you've had it on. And, if I really need to check something, I can go on my computer and check it, but it's not built to be as addictive when you're on your browser versus when you're on your phone. Like that's how they actually developed the apps to be more addictive on your phone. And there's something about that like swiping motion that signals to your brain to keep going.
So how are you better off? I want your thoughts with this sort of limiter on your phone use. Like what benefit have you seen in the week? If you've seen it, if you've noticed anything. Because that's really what
I think the biggest thing is noticing how often I'm doing it just because I'm bored, right? Like it is a reflex of not ever being bored, not ever just sitting and thinking anymore. And if there's a lull in the conversation, if there's a lull, or if like I'm sitting alone, like needing to constantly fill space instead of the good old-fashioned pondering.
Right.
Just like allowing your brain to wander, going for a walk without needing to listen to a podcast. And so I think I'm in the very early stages of just acknowledging every time I grab my phone in the attempt to check it. Am I noticing a lot more like focus? Not yet. Am I noticing like it's good to keep it locked when I'm just around Frankie, and so I don't fall into just when she's doing something, just being on my phone and her being like, Mommy, you're always on your phone. She hasn't said that to me yet, but it's coming.
Yeah. And I've noticed a lot of, I've told the story a million times, been in Vegas and I go to Wolfgang Puck's, which is in the MGM Grand. It's a beautiful restaurant that I try to go to every time I'm there. And there's 8 people at a table and they're all on their phones. Mm-hmm. No one's talking. You're at a restaurant. That's supposed to be a dynamic conversation. You got great food and great environment and they're all on their phones. And I've gotten so much response on my screen time. We spent a lot of time on that. We put it on our newsletter as well. And it's amazing to me how many people still, hey, I looked and I'd never looked before and I was like at 8 and I don't want to be at 8. Mm-hmm. And I don't care who you are. I look at mine almost daily now. Like, what am I doing? And what am I doing compared to last week? And I've tried to limit myself from what used to be double digits to then 6 to now below 4 or 3 or 2 sometimes. Look, you can always find the information in other places, and you can cheat. You can go to your laptop. I have at least 4 computers I can access anytime I want to. But I think it reminds us the importance of, and I'm somebody that's always moving. You know this about me. I can't sit still. But I force myself to sit still. And I force myself to read a book in a chair with light to just sort of get away from all of that stuff. And I think that's the messaging that I think is important. But imagine that same addictive impact on young people and what that could do to them. And I think that's the reason why this
well, and this is what's so incredible about it. So I looked it up. It's UW-Madison engineering students.
Yeah, I love that.
So TJ Driver, who was class of 22, and Zach Nazgowitz, who was class of 21. And this was the problem that they were solving. They knew that like social media was taking over their lives, and then they created this.
Yeah, and that gives me a great idea for my podcast. I'm going to actually seek those guys out and get them on the show, because that is like tremendous, especially in light of what we're talking about. All right, we got to take a break. Point taken. First hour's almost done. Where did that time go? But good topics, great text. Thanks for hanging out with us. Quick break.
Welcome back to Ask Hassles. I'm Weston. What's your question?
Is this one of those viral pranks?
Beg your pardon?
I think you promote Hassles Mattresses employee-free showrooms just to lure me in so you can film a practical joke on me to go viral.
Sir, I assure you, we take employee-free mattress shopping very seriously.
What do? Tie me to a bed and spray me with silly string?
We simply let you try our selection of Beautyrest, Sealy Posturepedic, and more without commission-crazy salespeople breathing down your neck.
Good one.
Others sell a Beauty Sleep by Beautyrest Queen Elm Cove A mattress for $1,599, but Hassles has it for just $794.
Sure you do.
And through Monday, get a free adjustable base with the purchase of a select Sealy Posturepedic or Beautyrest mattress, plus free next-day delivery.
So shopping at Hassles won't make me TikTok famous?
Absolutely not.
Darn.
Open 9 to 9. Find an employee-free showroom near you or shop online at hassles.com.
Are you looking for a welcoming place to unwind? Vince Vitrano here. Our family found a home at Racine Country Club. Premier golf on the historic championship course, rolling terrain, famously fast greens, tight fairways, and scenic Root River views. Work your game year-round with indoor simulators, hitting bays, top-notch practice facilities, and leagues for every level. Plus, at Racine Country Club, you enjoy elevated dining, swimming, and a full calendar of family-friendly events. Join me on the course at Racine Country Club, racinecountryclub.com.
Notifications, texts, emails, information coming at you all day, every day. With so much noise, knowing what deserves your attention can feel overwhelming. So it's no surprise that many Americans feel less confident about their retirement finances and stressed about their investments. Turn down the noise, turn up the planning. Put Annex Wealth Management on your side for trusted investment and retirement guidance, including tax and estate planning. Visit annexwealth.com and click the Get Started button.
Pickleball is America's fastest growing sport, and those courts aren't going to build themselves. Good thing PLM Paving and Concrete has been building courts long before pickleball was cool. For 60 years, PLM has been Wisconsin's trusted paving partner. Did you know for the last 15 years they've been building tennis, basketball, and pickleball courts too? Now that expertise has an official name, America Sports Construction. Thinking about adding or resurfacing a court or have any pavement maintenance needs? Don't wait. Wisconsin's construction season is running out. Visit plmpaving.com/sports. From large manufacturer to local pizza shop and every business in between, Summit Credit Union helps your vision take shape with loan programs, great rates, and strategic solutions. Whatever you're building, you've got this. And Summit Credit Union's got you.
Want to watch all your favorite WTMJ shows? Check out the WTMJ YouTube channel. Live streams of all your favorite WTMJ shows, from Wisconsin's morning news to what's on tap. See breaking news as it happens. Get involved with the action in the chat on Brewers Extra Innings, or see all the cool tools on the Fix-It Show. Missed your favorite show? We've got past live streams and interview highlights too. Subscribe to 620 WTMJ. WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
All right, I realized I didn't actually finish talking about the physical blocking part of it.
There's questions.
So I have the schedule. So this is back to the brick. So I have it scheduled so it automatically locks at 9, but I can lock it or unlock it during the day. So right now I have it unlocked, but if I say tap your brick and then it scans, like it actually has to scan it. And so now it's black. Sorry, if you're just listening, I'm also doing a video tutorial on the YouTube.
Just watch us on YouTube.
So now when I go to all of my apps are blacked out and I can't open it. And when you try to open it, says Instagram is blocked. Your phone is currently bricked. To access Instagram, open the brick app and then you click back to living. And so for some people, like if you leave your brick at home because you're like, I don't want to be checking Instagram during the day
or at
school, you can lock it before you leave your brick at home. And so there is like an emergency. You get 5 emergency unbricks.
Right. Makes sense.
Especially because like if you lose it.
Yeah.
But it is like, so that is the thing. It's like before when it was so easy to just press ignore and get back to your apps, the fact that you physically have to go get the thing to unlock it adds more friction to have you be like, have that second to think like, do I really need to check Instagram right now? So there you go.
I love it. And thanks for that real life lesson.
Highly recommend. I am not being paid for this.
No, she's not.
But I could be.
And a texter makes a great point. I've heard about this before. They give up social media for every year for Lent, and they can't tell us how much more creative and active they are. I encourage you to do whatever you can do because it's a danger. And I'm glad that Meta and other companies are being sued for what I think is an addictive process and platform that they could do something about. They have plenty of money. News is next.
Market swings can feel very different when you're close to retirement. Hi, I'm Tony Drake, certified financial planner and founder of Drake & Associates right here in Wisconsin. When you're younger, volatility is often something you ride out over time. But as retirement approaches, big market drops can have a much bigger impact on your long-term plan. That's why many retirees need a different investment approach, one that balances growth with protection and provides income even when markets are unpredictable. At Drake & Associates, we help families design diversified strategies intended to help manage risk while still giving your money the opportunity to grow. My complimentary retirement toolkit walks through how thoughtful investment planning can help you stay confident during uncertain markets. You'll receive a copy of my book, Get Retirement Ready, along with 5 guides covering income planning, taxes, and smart investing. Call 414-897-9522 or text RISK to 414-897-9522 for your no-cost toolkit. That's 414-897-9522 or text the word RISK to 414-897-9522. Because the goal isn't just growing your money, it's protecting the retirement you've worked for.
Drake & Associates LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates LLC does not provide legal or tax advice. Past performance is not indicative of future performance.
It's the most wonderful time of year at Staples. They've got back-to-school supplies as low as 25 cents, up to 40% off select tech, and more at staples.com/back-to-school. Staples, that was easy.
Hi, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Most contractors cut corners and disappear when there's a problem. Not us. Since 1997, we've completed over 60,000 projects, earned thousands of 5-star reviews, and were named 2025 Roofing Magazine Contractor of the Year. We set the standard for exterior remodeling. Trusted by homeowners, proven every single day. We're excited to show you why choosing Infinity means peace of mind. Visit infinityexteriors.com to see why your neighbors trust Infinity.
Tune in Saturdays at 6 a.m. for Legally Speaking with Kirsten Hildebrand. Hildebrand Law. Legal talk without the filler and straight to the point. Miss the show? Catch the Legally Speaking podcast on WTMJ.com.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
Breaking news as it happens. Stay up to date with your trusted and relevant source in news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
Just after 11 o'clock, it's 78 degrees, partly cloudy and humid. Chances for some showers and storms later on with a high around 81. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Neil Doyle. A deadly Monday afternoon across Milwaukee. 3 people killed in 2 separate shootings. The first was a road rage incident on the city's south side near 10th and Lapham. Then a double shooting on the north side near 31st and Cameron. Police say they arrested 2 suspects in each of those shootings. Criminal charges are still pending. And despite the violence yesterday, overall shootings are down in the city. Milwaukee police say it's a good sign for the rest of this year, but there's still work to do. MPD Lieutenant Efrain Cornejo telling Wisconsin's Afternoon News.
We need people to help us when they know the individuals that are involved with guns that illegally have them and are involved in violent crime.
Homicides were down about 30% during the first half of this year. The Milwaukee Police Department also reviewing some new recommendations from Flock amid growing abuse of the camera network.
It remains to be seen whether Milwaukee Police will adopt any of Flock's recommendations, but the department has created a new audit system to identify unusual searches. MPD Risk Manager James Lewis.
Part of our audit is what helped catch the second officer. So in a sense, that audit and the robustness of it did work to catch additional bad actors.
Lewis helped design the new audit after the department's first misuse case. They even showed the system to Flock.
To say, hey, this is what we've done in response to these problems.
And what was the response?
You're the only department we know of that has this.
Jessica Tai, WTMJ News.
There are some conflicting reports on whether the Strait of Hormuz is open for commercial traffic. President Trump insisting it is open, while Iran claims it's closed, and no signs of the two sides resuming negotiations.
The president just released a statement on the status of these negotiations. There are no talks or conversations going on or scheduled with the Islamic Republic of Iran. The naval blockade remains in full force and effect. The Hormuz Strait is open and operating. All water mines have been removed or detonated. Well, even so, threats exist on those waterways. What we saw here overnight, another ship coming under fire, hit by a projectile. According to British maritime trade officials, there was at least one casualty reported.
News Nation's Robert Sherman. Iran currently in talks with Oman about management of the waterway. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Everything's still in the red. The NASDAQ is off over 1% at 26,359. The Dow sitting at 53,365. That's down about 91 points. And the S&P 500 is off about 40 at 7,705. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:04.
Struggling to provide for your family is a real thing, like having to choose between feeding them a warm meal or paying the utility bill. These are the choices many Milwaukee residents are faced with, which is why they turn to St. Vincent de Paul Society's meal program for help. Our meal program has been a consistent resource for those in need for over 42 years. Nutritious meals, warm showers, and clean clothes, all in a safe, family-friendly environment. Our mission is clear, and that's to help you break the cycle of poverty by connecting you with life-changing community and educational resources. Last year, we provided $2.2 million in goods and services, plus 57,000 warm meals. If you or anyone you know needs a warm evening meal, you can find us at Harambe Kitchen 5 nights a week on the northeast side of Milwaukee in the basement of All People's Church. And at Crossroads Kitchen on the south side of Milwaukee 6 nights a week on 9th and Madison. As always, we're grateful for community members and volunteers who help us help you. To learn more, visit svdpmilw.org.
Ready to refresh your look this August? Stock up and save at Anton Salon and Medical Spa in Delafield. Buy one medical-grade skincare or professional hair care product and get the second 50% off. Choose from trusted brands like Skin Better Science, Moroccan Oil, Aveda, and more. This special ends August 31st, so don't wait. Not sure what's right for your skin or hair? Anton's experienced team offers complimentary consultations to help you find the perfect products. Visit Anton Salon and Medical Spa in Delafield today and discover your best look yet.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. Hey, reminder, it is summer storm season, and weather damage can be a real issue at the house. So if you think you've got a problem, remember, Tri-County Contracting gives free estimates on any potential wind or hail damage. And here's the best part, they can always work directly with your insurance. It's Tri-County Contracting, WI.com. Love your home again, even during the storm season, with Tri-County Contracting, WI.com.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all sports desk. Brewers are back at home tonight, starting a 3-game series against the Mariners. And the Crew hoping to get a few different players back from injury. That includes Bryce Terang and Sal Frelick. Manager Pat Murphy on Wisconsin's Morning News.
I think you'll see Bryce give it a go. You know, he's nurturing some pretty sore ankle and a pretty sore knee. You know, this rest will... He's going to try it this week. Sal, I think, is a little further away. He's got to make sure that his shoulder is strong enough to withstand the day-to-day of the big leagues.
Kyle Harrison scheduled to take the mound tonight at American Family Field. All of our coverage right after the 6 o'clock news here on WTMJ. Just 3 more practices will be open to the public during Packers training camp, and one of those practices is currently underway as we speak. Green Bay now getting ready for its second preseason game. That's coming up Friday in Denver. And in less than 3 weeks, Wisconsin football will kick off the season against Notre Dame at Lambeau Field. Badgers hosting a public practice for fans tonight. That's at Camp Randall Stadium. Badger Sports Updates sponsored by Siding Unlimited, siding and a whole lot more. Take a look at the roads, your WTMJ time saver traffic. Again, not seeing any major issues here as we are moving along through your Tuesday. Tapping the brakes a little bit, as usual, in our construction zone. 94 east and westbound, right near the stadium, but nothing too out of the ordinary there. So everything is moving along nicely.
Traffic is sponsored by TaybackAttorneys.com. Veterans benefits denied? Call Tayback for the payback. Tayback Law fights for those who fought for us. If you're a vet and have been wrongfully denied the VA benefits you're entitled to, call Tayback for the payback. TaybackAttorneys.com.
Partly cloudy, humid conditions as we move throughout today. High getting up around 81 degrees. We will see a chance for some showers and storms to move in late this afternoon into the early part of this evening, but then those should push out by late tonight. Should get some dry time this evening. Low down to 64. Plenty of sunshine Wednesday, very comfortable, high of 76. And then mostly sunny on Thursday with highs in the low 80s. Right now, 75 degrees in Madison. We're sitting at 76 in Kenosha, and it's 78 in Milwaukee. I'm Neil Doyle, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:09.
Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue. It's time for Point Taken. Here are your hosts, Steve Scafidi and Kristen Bry.
Polling.
Sucks.
Yeah. How much, be honest with yourself, I guess, unless you're a Republican voter and you voted for Tom Tiffany last week, then you weren't really looking at the polls, I imagine. But if you were voting in the Democratic primary, every time there was some horse race update on polls, how much did you let that influence how you were thinking about the race? I will admit that as someone who has to talk about this, talking about polls isn't low-hanging fruit to be able to talk about the state of the race. Campaigns use it, obviously, to understand what's working, what's not working, where they stand. So it's not that they're not useful. But as far as how they shape public sentiment in a race, I think there's a lot of questions about that coming out of, at least in Wisconsin, coming out of last week. And also the week before with how off the Michigan polls were for this U.S. Senate race there.
Not close.
So this was shared with us yesterday. And it has more implications, I think, for the ongoing Los Angeles mayoral run right now. But it also touches Wisconsin. So Median Strategies, and if you had gone to their website a week ago, they basically called themselves like an independent polling organization. And when pressed, there was called multiple times as far as talking about a poll they released for the Los Angeles mayoral race, in which Karen Bass retweeted that poll.
Mm-hmm.
So did not verify.
Because she was up.
And it turns out not a real polling
Short-term
organization.
social media experiment.
So that's what they ended up, as they were pushed from journalists being like, what is the basis of this poll? Basically came back and said it was a social experiment to understand how polling impacts public sentiment on races. And the reason why this touches Wisconsin is they had also released a poll on the Wisconsin race showing Fran Hong up by 20 points. Now, I don't remember seeing that poll. And I do think in the sharing of polls when things are up and things are down, especially with Bill and Joe, I know that they are constantly asking, what's the rating of that pollster? Right. Because you can go and verify who's doing the poll and what their lean is, who's funding them, and getting a little bit more idea. But it goes back to, it shouldn't impact at all, because as Charles Franklin says, this is always just a snapshot.
Yeah, it shouldn't.
And so I am on the side of, I don't think we should release poll numbers. I think you should base your vote not on who's leading in the polls or who's doing the best, but who do you want to vote for?
Exactly. That should always be the case. And I'm going to make my comments very specific. And I respect Charles Franklin, MBA Law School poll, the gold standard in Wisconsin, all of that. And I've interviewed him a number of times, including on the show and on the podcast. Mad respect. He does a great job. But my policy going forward is, this is my official Steve policy, not show policy, not station policy. If it's a candidate poll, I'm not going to reference it. I'm not going to use it as...
We did it just yesterday.
I know, but I don't want to do that.
Is that the challenge? Are we not going to talk about polling status at all for the rest of this election cycle?
Well, that would probably be a healthy behavior. But I just had my conversation with my boss about this morning. And he goes, yeah, what are we doing here?
Do you think we could do it? You want to get through?
Absolutely.
Maybe with Joe and Bill, it'll be a little bit harder.
I can't control what they do.
But for you and I, when new polls come out, you don't want to talk about it?
I don't care. Now, with one caveat, that's candidate
I want to go
polls.
shake his hand for people who are just watching.
But that's candidate. Issues, I think people are more...
Fine.
Yes.
All right.
I just think they're to the Texas point, they're overrated in their significance. There's too many of them. They're frequently very wrong. The sort of methodology has
sometimes they're entirely made up.
Yeah, in this case. And they're often so misleading that I think they could have detrimental effects on some people who are, and I don't know what the number is on this because there's no way to quantify that, are influenced by what they see in the polls. Like, for extreme example, my guy or girl's got this, I'm busy that day, I'm not voting. And I've heard people say this, not in this race, but in previous race. So that's a real thing. I don't know how, again, I can't quantify it. I don't know why I get that we want to always look for things to sort of hook into a story or a cool topic. But given what we've seen going back into presidential elections and primaries and all of the histrionics about election methodology and the results, and you mentioned Michigan, and we certainly had the most recent result here last week. Why would we use that as a news source or even a news generator? I'm not going to when it's candidate specific. Issues, I believe that most people are answering those questions honestly, and they want to participate. For example, I mentioned the MU Law School poll yesterday, which is what I think you're talking about. Top 10 issues. I actually believe that those are the top 10 issues in Wisconsin, with some slight variations because it's one poll, a snapshot, as Charles Franklin said. But I have more faith in that because it's more specific. Candidate stuff, I think people lie on purpose. I think people misdirect. I don't like that, but that's sort of, I think we're at the point where we have to just say, hold on a second. This is nuts.
All right, let's take a break quickly because I want to talk about focus groups on the other side of this.
Yeah.
Because that's something I've been thinking about a fair amount, and I want to do more of them, but I don't know if I have the resources to do it. All right, this is point taken.
Abby Window.
Are you looking to upgrade your bathroom with a new walk-in shower or a new tub? At Abby Home, we take everything down to the studs, pull the plumbing permits, and you have a brand new bath or shower in as little as 1 day. And to top it off, we're having our 16-year anniversary sale. Right now, get a free shower door with your new bath or shower. And if somebody asks you if you know a guy in the business, you can say no, but I know a girl. Go to abbyhome.com today or give us a call, 414-436-ABBY, 414-436-2229.
Over the last couple weeks, I've gotten to know the team over at La Causa, a Milwaukee nonprofit that helps find safe, stable foster homes for Wisconsin children who can't remain with their families. Their mission resonates with me because it reminded me of my home growing up and the fact that my parents made all my friends and my brother's friends feel safe. And for a lot of them, our one caring, stable family changed the trajectory of their lives. That's what foster parenting can be. And La Causa thoughtfully matches children and families to give everyone the best chance to succeed. Learn more at lacausa.org. And if fostering isn't right for you, share La Causa's story with someone who could change a child's future. Visit lacausa.org today.
Why DIY your frozen pizza toppings when Screamin' Sicilian already went over the top for you? We're talking whole milk mozzarella, heaps of premium meats, a mountain of veggies. Screamin' Sicilian is frozen pizza stacked, no add-ons needed. Mamma mia! Screamin' Sicilian, so loaded with toppings, it's almost cheating. Find Screamin' Sicilian in your local grocer's freezer section and taste what all the screamin' is about.
The tide's turning in Milwaukee. The Mariners are in town. But in these waters, the crew runs the ship.
Henderson kicks, delivers, and a swing and a miss. Oh, what a nasty changeup. Down and away from Henderson. And Ohtani just casting his bat hopelessly.
The Brewers take on the Mariners tonight at American Family Field. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts at 6:05. Don't miss a pitch on the home of the Brewers, WTMJ.
Welcome back to Point Taken. I'm Kristen. He's Steve. And I was thinking about this a lot. So do you follow Sarah Longwell at all?
Yes, I see her videos.
So she's, I think she's either editor-in-chief or publisher for the Bulwark.
Bulwark Online, yeah.
Does in her podcast, she does multiple podcasts, but one of them is like the focus group because that's what she's very good at. She has spent a decade doing focus groups, and she has a new book coming out that I think I'm going to read. It's how to eat an elephant one vote at a time or one bite at a time or something like that. And I thought about this a lot as far as it was spending a lot of time this year talking to Gen Z and how much I enjoyed that, of actually just having open-ended, curious conversations with normal people. And I don't know, is there an arm inside of Marquette or like who's running focus groups in Wisconsin? Because I think that tells us so much more than just the binary multiple choice question. Like I'm dabbling in this right now as we do our surveys in our newsletter. And like I probably could have a lesson in like how to conduct surveys or how to write them better than, me at Saturday night. Like I got to get something done and it's kind of like thrown together. It's kind of a good question, but is it the most scientific? No. But in actually trying to understand why people think the way they think, is there really any replacement, whether it's who they're voting for or why they're voting a certain way, if they would ever swing from one party to the other? Is there any real question that has a singular one-word answer or two-word answer that can reveal that? Like, is there any way to get to that without actually having qualitative conversations and then aggregating, like using your brain to kind of aggregate what themes you can draw from those conversations? And so I'm just interested is there any group in Wisconsin that does that in like a nonpartisan way?
Yeah, I'm sure there are.
There is. Hit me up.
The Zeidler group, is that one of the groups that does some of that stuff? And if I'm wrong, just tell me I'm wrong, because that came into my head. But I know I've participated in these groups over the years, especially on the issue of gun violence. I think Marquette's doing some of that.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
I guess the closest thing to doing that is people who, like when you talk to people who do doors, like for during election season and knock a lot of doors to obviously promote themselves or, try to get your vote and ask for your vote. But I think most people would say the best way to do doors is not necessarily give your pitch, but ask questions as far as what's on your mind, what are you like, what concerns you, and asking really good questions. So I guess if you do a lot of doors, that would be a better way to understand public sentiment. Because certainly I don't think you can just go off of what's online.
No.
Or even what's in these polls.
And I'm not saying you have to avoid the whole online, all the world out there, because there's a lot of good stuff. We get topic ideas. We certainly find videos that are interesting and they prompt us to do a segment or two on them. There's value in that. There's value in all of that stuff. And I think you should be exposed as much as possible, including travel and all the things that I always talk about. It is the Zeidler Group in Milwaukee. It's a nonpartisan organization dedicated to helping people connect despite individual differences. And that's the one that I participated on gun violence about 6-7 years ago. And it was very good. And they brought in all kinds of different people on all sides of that. And that's sort of a rich experience. And there's others I'm sure that I'm forgetting about, because I did a lot of that stuff post shooting in Oak Creek. I guess for me, it goes back to what you said in earlier. Wherever you're getting your stuff, ultimately it's about you, how you decide to vote. And if you find a candidate, and on the Democratic side there were 4 candidates still in the race, there was something for everyone there, and voters decided by a slim margin to pick David Crowley. Fran Hong could have won as well if more people would have voted for her. And Kelda Royce, we interviewed most of those people, actually all of them in the course of the show and in the podcast, and they all offered something slightly different. So there was options for people. But if you're a voter, going back to what we started this half hour with, a poll would tell me nothing about how I'm going to vote or anything about these candidates. I want to find out for myself. And you don't need a poll to do that. There's multiple interviews they do with every media organization in the state, television, radio, podcasts. It's all there if you want to spend the time. And that would be an example of good use of your smartphone or computer time, right? Because you're hearing unless they're AIing it, you're going to hear exactly what they say on a subject unfiltered, pretty much. Especially like our podcast, we didn't edit it at all. Our candidate podcast, we interviewed for 20 some minutes. They talked. We asked questions. The only edit was at the beginning and the end for time. That was it. Nothing else. Mm-hmm. That's clean, but you have to invest that time. So rather than doom scrolling, going back to our BRIC conversation, or relying on polls, why would you do that? And a couple of texters have said they almost didn't vote a certain way because of polls. Mm-hmm. It's a real thing. I trust these people from the 262 and the 414 that they actually had that, at least that contemplation in their head. And to me, that's dangerous. And I think this is why, for us, candidate polling, I don't see the value.
All right. So do not come to this show
for candidate polls.
Breaking down candidate polls.
Unless other people are referencing them. And then I'll just tell them if they ask me to respond, not a fan of that. Don't believe it.
All right.
That's be my take.
We shook on it.
We didn't pinky a full handshake.
When's the last time you pinky swore someone?
Probably 30 years. Is that still a thing?
I do it with my daughter.
Are the kids still doing it? You're still doing it with your daughter?
I did do it with Frankie.
What do you make Frankie
She
do
offered
about
it to me the other day.
What is she doing it for? Like, what's the Frankie thing that you're pinky?
I think it's, like promises like, oh, after we're done doing this, you're going to get in the bath. And she, okay. It's a pinky promise. And then she does it.
And then she do it? Yeah. Good listener, Frankie. All right, quick break. 620 WTMJ.
It's Eric Bilstead here for QC Kinetics. You suffer from joint pain, and you're told the only way to solve the problem is surgery. The idea of going under a knife keeps you up at night just as much as that bad back does. Well, there may be another way. QC Kinetics. Whether you're dealing with pain from bone-on-bone arthritis or a torn meniscus or years of wear and tear, regenerative treatments from QC Kinetics gives you a real shot at holding off on surgery, or in some cases, avoiding it altogether. That's why it makes sense to explore every option before you make that decision that'll change your life. Don't just accept surgery as your only choice. Call QC Kinetics today for a second opinion and learn your options about regenerative treatments. The conversation and the consultation, totally free. QC Kinetics. Call 414-667-5559. Again, that's 414-667-5559. Learn your options from QC Kinetics. 414-667-5559.
You're not just a job number as a Sidex customer. They've been family-owned since 1988, and they treat you as part of their family. Upgrade and transform your current bathroom space with Sidex Windows Siding and Bath. They have seasoned design consultants with 10 to 30 years of experience. The owner, Joe, is honoring his dad's legacy with top-tier products and expert craftsmanship. It's Sidex, the best in the business. Get a free shower door upgrade when you mention WTMJ. Visit sidexremodel.com.
Bank 5-9 has a mission to make lives better. They make it a priority to give back to their customers, communities, and their employees. In fact, Bank 5-9 was just honored again by the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel as a top workplace. That makes 17 years in a row. Want to learn more about working with the great people at Bank 5-9? Visit bank59.com/careers. That's bank59.com/careers. Equal Opportunity Employer, member FDIC.
There's not a bad time to better insulate your home, but there is a better time, and it's right now. Vince Vitrano here just talked with Jeff from USA Insulation. Jeff says they always get busy in the fall and early winter as everyone's concerned about keeping their houses warm. But doing a project with USA Insulation does just as well to keep your house cooler in the summer months and saving you money on your electric bills. Tell Jeff Vinny told you want the government rebates and discounts that can save you thousands on your project. Get started at usainsulation.net.
The stories you're talking about on Wisconsin's Morning News.
The I-94 reconstruction project through Milwaukee's west side could potentially take a couple of extra years.
Costs can go up. I'll give you some room on that.
That's always going to happen, right?
Going to happen. Okay, fine. But the idea on the timeline, we only studied this project for 20 years.
The key phrase is potential delay. There are some ways they can reconfigure, maybe speed up one portion of the phases.
Okay, let's do that.
Only here on WTMJ.
Thanks for tuning in on this Tuesday. Talking Tuesday, Chris and I hashing over some big topics. Always want to point you in the direction of our newsletter. I love that people are subscribing and get new subscribers every day. We put this out every Sunday at 9 a.m. We don't overburden you.
Ish.
Ish, yeah.
Sometimes I'm waking up on Sunday morning and finishing it, let's be honest.
There you go. But it's a quick read. I read it, and even though I'm involved in the creation of it, we sort of recap things. We highlight things that we think are important, including special interviews that we've done or events that we're, in your case more than me, moderating important focus groups or panels that you're involved in so much of that stuff, working on a documentary as well. I don't know how you do all this stuff, having a 2.5-year-old, almost 3.
Almost 3.
Yeah. It's coming up pretty soon. So I'm going to point you to the newsletter. Just text the word extra, EXTRA, and it's a fun read, and we do a fun recommendation. I told you what mine was earlier, The Chaos Machine, which is a great book about social media addiction and what we've done to our country and our culture because of it. And we just spent a lot of time talking about that. But it's fun stuff too. Wisconsin recommendations, and as I always say, an homage to what your old show, highlighting something cool in Wisconsin. And full disclosure, mine was Packers this week, and yours was the Packers ladies at some point.
No, that was a couple weeks ago. What did I have it?
Don't remember, but you can find it on the newsletter. And I love
this week.
And it's not just a newsletter that gets out and no one reads. A lot of people open it, click on the links. So appreciate all of that. And there may be some exciting news about the newsletter being sponsored at some point, because I just had a conversation yesterday about that. So that's very cool.
Be sponsored. There might be exciting news about a meetup.
Yes,
a point taken listener meetup.
Live in
leads.
Oak Creek, and not far from
Did
my
he
house.
get back to you as far as a date?
We just have to. We have to propose some dates. So this would be free.
Free.
And
love free.
Yeah, and there'd be pizza, which for you free, us free, and the listeners free.
Because where would it be?
I can't say yet.
Oh,
okay. Until we confirm the date. But they're all in over there, and you can probably figure it out by what I just said. Pizza, Oak Creek. Anyway, it is going to be one of first of many opportunities in the next year to sort of meet us, hang out, ask questions, just socialize.
Maybe we should start doing focus groups.
Yeah,
these could be like mini focus groups,
an
but with like
informal
beer
focus
and
group.
pizza.
Like to hear what people are thinking about, you know? I'll even buy you a beer if you have a medical ID, because that's my thing. Done it for at least 5 years.
I feel like if people came, you'd buy beer for more people than just people with medical IDs.
Probably.
You're pretty generous when
I
it comes
totaled up all that money. Be scary. Somebody hit me up.
I think you have plenty of money. I'm not really worried about that.
I remember one year. I think
how
it
many
was,
vacations planned next year? Okay.
1 year at Summerfest, the round was like 112. But I love those people, and I made the commitment, so I did it anyway. Anyway, it is fun. So that's going to be the first of many. I want to get Wolski's in the mix because I love Wolski's, and they would probably love to host it. It's a great place right around the corner from Scaffidi's Hideaway or Hideout.
Which that place, that's where we really should go because you haven't been.
I haven't been.
Relation.
Every time I go, the owner's not. No, I've been there. The owner's never there when I'm there.
That's what it is.
I want to drop the name or the idea. Look what my. Oh, but he's never there. Now we've emailed back and forth, but.
And you're sure you're not related?
Only in the sense we're both from Sicily, not directly related. We don't share.
Because there's actually a fair amount of BREYs in Wisconsin.
Yeah. Are you related to those?
I don't know. That's the question sometimes of when I meet someone, and sometimes they pronounce it Bray, sometimes they pronounce it Bry, but there's like distant cousins.
It's interesting how one group can pronounce it one way. Because I have examples in my community where like half the family says it one way. What are you supposed to go with if you're not in the family? Like that way or the other way? That seems confusing to me. All right. He's never confusing. He's America's favorite newsman, Neil Doyle. Before we get to any or all of his information, here's now the latest from ABC.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Pennsylvania's Attorney General announced the alleged leader of a cocaine trafficking ring involving Penn State University students and 2 student fraternities surrendered this morning. 24-year-old Agostino Abatiello was arraigned on numerous felonies. 13 other suspects are also charged.
Officials say between 2023 and 2024, 2 of the suspects made regular trips to New York and Philadelphia to buy as much as 1 kilogram of the drug at a time. They say the cocaine was then allegedly packaged to sell to students at 2 fraternity houses. The drugs were allegedly then sold to other students with payments in cash or using apps. Officials say one of the suspects was known as the largest dealer of coke for Penn State students.
ABC's Lionel Moise. The battle over reopening the Strait of Hormuz heating up. President Trump claims the strait is now U.S. territory. Iran says it controls the shipping waterway. Air defense systems in the UAE activated today due to a missile threat. And oil prices rising due to uncertainty in the Middle East. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:31. I'm Neil Doyle. A Wisconsin judge has ended a special funding exemption for Milwaukee County approved in last year's state budget. It allowed the county to keep all of the money from certain motor vehicle fines and forfeitures. Normally, counties keep half of that money, with the other half going to the Common School Fund, which helps pay for school library resources across the state. The Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty sued, arguing the exemption violates the state constitution. In a ruling late last week, a judge also agreed, permanently blocking that provision. Tech giant Oracle is now dropping its lawsuit against Wisconsin utility regulators over new rules designed to protect electric customers from data center costs. The company was challenging a new We Energy's rate structure, which requires data center developers to provide financial guarantees for their massive energy needs. But now the company dropping that suit, the Public Service Commission, saying it stands behind the financial protections for ratepayers. Oracle is part of the $15 billion AI data center project in Port Washington. And a man taken into custody in Fond du Lac County after leading officers on a high-speed chase and hiding in a cornfield.
The 40-year-old man from Fond du Lac was arrested Monday after leading police on a chase for over 12 miles. It began on Highway 175 when the sheriff's office says the driver fled a traffic stop. The suspect then fled on foot into a cornfield and hid for several hours. He was eventually arrested without incident. A sheriff's deputy and police officer suffered minor injuries, and 2 sheriff's office cars were damaged. The suspect has several felony charges pending and was already on probation for cocaine and firearm convictions. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
News about your money, the WTMJ NX Wealth Management Market Update. The NASDAQ still off over 1%, sitting at 26,341. The Dow is at 53,371. That's down about 86 points. And the S&P 500 also in the red, down 41 at 7,700. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Take a look at the roads. Your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. Still seeing a little bit of a slowdown, 94 east and westbound right near the stadium interchange, but really nothing out of the ordinary there. Our other work zones looking good, and the entire system, things are moving along nicely. As for your forecast, partly cloudy, a little humid today. We'll see a high around 81. Chances then for some showers and storms late this afternoon. Into the early part of this evening, we'll see some pop-up spots in some areas, and then that rain should move out by late tonight, a low down to 64. Plenty of sunshine Wednesday, comfortable with a high of 76, and then mostly sunny Thursday, highs in the low 80s. Right now, 78 degrees in Green Bay. We're sitting at 76 in Waukesha, and it's 79 in Milwaukee. I'm Neil Doyle, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:34.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here for Griffin's Hub. If you've been waiting for the right time to upgrade your ride, this is it. Griffin's Hub is making August a huge month to save. Right now, you can lease a brand new Jeep Cherokee 4x4 Laredo for just $381 a month for 42 months with $39.99 down plus tax and fees with approved credit. That's an outstanding way to get behind the wheel of a legendary Jeep. Or if you've had your eye on a new truck, check this out. Griffin's Hub has a 2026 Ram Rebel for just $59,340. That's an incredible $18,000 off MSRP. One of the biggest savings you'll see all year on a Ram Light Duty. Whether you're looking for SUV capability or truck toughness, Griffin's Hub has the deals to get you moving. Visit Griffin's Hub today or shop online at griffinshubchryslerjeepdodge.com. But don't wait. August offers end August 31st. See Griffin's Hub for complete details. Offers available with approved credit, lease, and purchase offer. Expires August 31st, 2026.
Not all roofing contractors are created equal, and homeowners know the difference. Ridgetop Exteriors has been the local, trusted choice since 2002. Upfront pricing, expert crews, manufacturer-backed warranties, and over 40,000 completed projects backed by thousands of five-star reviews from your neighbors. No surprises, no runarounds, just honest work from people who live and work right here in our community. Call Ridgetop Exteriors for a free estimate. Ridgetop Exteriors, the easy choice for your home.
Ridgetop Exteriors.
At Big Fish Contracting, we want every home project to be a good story worth sharing. That's why we as a team aim to exceed your expectations. We can improve any aspect of your home. Everything from a complex remodel to the essential roof, gutters, siding, and windows. Integrity, humility, and kindness are why we've grown in southeastern Wisconsin for the last 2 decades. Visit bigfishcontracting.com to learn how Big Fish is renovating homes and redeeming an industry.
This is an interesting one because I've actually interviewed the head of the Off-Road ATV UTV Association of Wisconsin, Randy Hayden, and it's never been more popular. It's multi-million-dollar industry in the state of Wisconsin, off-road vehicles. But you found this story, Wisconsin Public Radio. More than half of the people. This is just interesting, just from the age part of it. More than half the people dead this year in Wisconsin off-road vehicle crashes were over 60. Why do you think that is? Just without even reading the story, or I know you read it, but what would your guess be?
My guess was going to be, I don't know. That's why it grabbed me, because now I've read the article, because it's hard to answer that question without knowing what's inside the article. But just on face value, as far as why are people dying more who are older than 60 who are driving these like off-road vehicles. And part of me wanted to think it was, I don't know, because you're a little bit more, if you get in an accident, it's harder to recover potentially.
Potentially, yeah.
But do you want to give what the real reason is? Or what they propose, like the supposed real reason is?
I actually also interviewed the DNR warden who was interviewed in the story. He's been on my outdoor show a couple times. He's actually on in a couple weeks on this issue. It's about safety. And I would say it's older users sort of disregarding the rules because they've never had a safety class and not required to. Anyone born before 1988 never has to take a class in the safety of these vehicles, the operation and use. And it's stubbornness. It's like, I describe it this way, and I use this for a lot of different topics. You're not going to tell me and then fill in the rest.
I don't understand why the magic number of 38. It's kind of like the magic number of 25 is all of a sudden when you can rent a car.
It's the date is 88 when this was when they created this safety requirement. So anyone born before that doesn't have to. So the number's going to change every year. It'll just add a year every year.
So what age are you supposed to take it?
Anyone under 38. Anyone born after 1988, you take it. So you're already an adult, but you should. But older adults don't have to.
That's such a dumb rule.
It's just it was grandfathered, and that's how the rule was written. The law was written. That's it. There's no science behind it.
There's no science behind it. Like
Not
that's
at all.
what's really dumb.
It's
all right, we've recognized that these are dangerous enough that we should be teaching classes. We have data that shows that the people who do take classes versus don't take classes are less likely to die. At some point, as a public health measure, do you just say to people like, no, man, like you got to take the safety class. Like, I don't care that you think you don't need it. Like, we're doing this for you.
Yeah, it's a safety thing. And Randy Harden, who I mentioned before, he's mentioned in the piece as well. He's the president of the Wisconsin ATV Association. And he says, you have to wear protective gear. I've interviewed him a number of times on my outdoor show. It's their biggest challenge is to get people to understand these are vehicles that can kill you if you don't operate them safely. And as we know, chaos is the chaos effect is you never can control everything. You hit a bump, you lose control. All these things happen on snowmobiles and ATVs, UTVs. I would say my argument is older people, and I'm in that group because I'm a senior, they don't take this stuff seriously. And they just think they're invincible, even though they're not. They are more likely to get injured because they're old. And it's just, it kills me. And the interesting, I think there was a really great fact in here. Only 3 women died, so women are being smarter than men. Love that.
That one didn't shock me at all.
But 2 of those were over 65. So again, 3, but 2 are over 65.
They also said it's hard to track how often alcohol's involved.
Yes.
Because of toxicology, like the time it takes to get the toxicology reports.
So what are we talking about? It's rollovers, collision with trees, ejections, all those things happen. I'm really, my grandkids ride with my brother-in-law on his ATV. And I'm very...
At like a cabin or in
cabin,
like the neighborhood?
Cabin and trails.
Okay.
And they're wearing helmets, which Jeff is very good at this. And also, let's maintain some control because they're little kids. And they don't always do everything the way, they'll let go. You have to be careful with that. It's just an awareness this is a problem. But what I love is, in this WPR piece, you have the head of the association and one of the DNR wardens who's very involved in safety. That's why I have him on my outdoor show, saying the same thing. You should take the training and you should pay attention to the rules. And that means helmets. That means all the gear. Stop being stupid. Why would you want to have something bad happen when you don't have to?
Because I haven't ridden on one. I think maybe once.
Oh, really?
But like they're souped up golf carts, right? Like they can go way faster than a golf cart.
They can go fast.
Because like I know what it is to drive a golf cart, and I know how little protection you have if like a golf cart were to flip, but you can only go so fast. But these things like go really fast. There's not usually that much protection. There's no airbags. They're not tested hundreds of times like cars are to be like safer and safer, right? Like what is the actual utility of it?
To
just
get
around.
Yeah,
right?
and recreational fun. And I also know...
Do you take it off-roading? Is that the point? Is like
it's one of the fastest growing sectors of recreation in the state because there's trails being added every day. I've talked to all the counties in the state, and they're adding these trails. People want to do it. Think about...
So do you go on... Sorry, I'm not trying to cut you out, but so you go on like
networks of
snowmobile trails, but in the summer?
Yes, basically. Yeah, but they don't always coincide. Sometimes they have separate trails. Sometimes in the non-winter months you can use those snowmobile trails, but it's different and it's all posted. You got to be very careful about what you do because snowmobilers are very specific as well.
So it's as much about getting around as it is about the ride itself.
There are whole communities that people connect this way. They drive to their buddy's house by ATV because they're not going on the roads. They know, they can get there. There's so many trails now. One of the fastest growing segments, again, of recreation in Wisconsin is ATV, UTV. It's amazing. It's a great sport. I've been invited to their big get-togethers. I'm going to go to one in the next year or two. They gather and they talk.
What do they do?
They have.
Is it like a Harley homecoming? Like they all just ride their little UTVs together and then like
races,
hang out?
They have races. They have everything. It's fun. Educational awareness, safety training, all the things these older riders, me potentially, should be doing. Again, let's stop being stupid. Be responsible, old people. I'm speaking to you directly as an old person. Be responsible. All right, we're going to talk Packers after this.
All right, sounds good.
25 years ago, a generational Bucs team made an unforgettable run.
This is the place to be.
Write It Up, narrated by Jim Paschke, is the new season of the Behind the Bucs podcast, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. This is the oral history of the 2000-2001 Milwaukee Bucks and their run to Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals.
Absolute bedlam here at the Bradley Center.
Listen now on Bucs.com/plus, the Bucs app, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Scrivby for Annex Wealth Management. It's not about age, it's about a mindset. Asking for help from a wealth management firm that provides comprehensive planning, is ready to provide strategic advice, and they do that wherever you are in your journey. That can make all the difference in the world. If you're watching the headlines, wondering what's ahead, Annex Wealth Management can help turn uncertainty into understanding. With personalized guidance, comprehensive planning, the best in the business, Annex builds diversified, tax-aware portfolios with the aim of managing risk while supporting your long-term financial goals. Their professionals help you evaluate strategies like Roth conversions, that's a big one, thoughtful withdrawal planning, portfolio positioning to help move forward with clarity rather than concern. Join Annex in person for the 7 tax moves to consider before December on Thursday, August 27th at Ember Social in Grafton at 6 p.m. Great location. Whether you're retired or preparing for retirement, you'll leave with practical ideas to discuss with your financial advisor and tax professional. That's important before December. To reserve your spot for you and a guest, click the events tab at annexwealth.com.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. Hey, reminder, it is summer storm season, and weather damage can be a real issue at the house. So if you think you've got a problem, remember, Tri-County Contracting gives free estimates on any potential wind or hail damage. And here's the best part, they can always work directly with your insurance. It's Tri-County Contracting, WI.com. Love your home again, even during the storm season, with Tri-County Contracting, WI.com.
Join us for the Milwaukee Night Market this summer on July 22nd, August 19th, September 16th, and October 7th. Located on West Wisconsin Avenue between 2nd Street and Vel R. Phillips Avenue. The Milwaukee Night Market is a free outdoor event showcasing a variety of local vendors, performers, and artists. The Milwaukee Night Market transforms the heart of downtown into an exciting fusion of all the city has to offer for one night only each month this summer and fall. Visit mkenightmarket.com to learn more.
See every smile, every milestone, every moment that matters most. From the moment you walk into Shopko Optical, you'll feel welcomed, valued, and genuinely cared for. The team at Shopko Optical takes time to understand your concerns, explain your options, and answer questions so you feel confident in your care. Whether you're due for a comprehensive eye exam or looking for the right eyewear, they're here to support your vision and eye health every step of the way. Create your personalized eye care plan. Visit shopko.com today.
A new deck from Outdoor Living Unlimited is built to last. We are Wisconsin's #1 TimberTech deck installation team. For amazing ideas, go to Outdoor Living Unlimited's Instagram page. For a free estimate, go to OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
I think it's a safe assumption that a lot of you, and certainly us, are Green Bay Packers fans. So I was looking at this morning. Or did you? I think you shared it.
I sent it.
Yeah.
So it's like a quintessential J.R. Radcliffe story from Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, as far as just weird, quirky things outside of the X's and O's of Packers stories. Where do Packers rank in Nielsen Fandom Index? Now, as a longtime employee of Nielsen,
yeah.
Was this always a thing? Has this always been a fandom index thing?
I didn't work on that side of it. I did TV, network TV primarily, and big markets. But yeah, they've always measured this stuff, at least for a long time. And they have these metrics to determine, and I know some of it is merchandise sales. And
So this is what goes into it. To formulate the list, Nielsen used its own data on apparel purchases, event attendance, streaming, social media following, TV viewership, radio listening, betting intent, and overall interest level.
Yeah.
So I don't know what balance and weight they put any of these variables as they measure this, but I'm going to say I'm a little surprised we were third.
I'm not, because the passion for Green Bay is incredible. And if you look,
I'm surprised we're not first.
No,
but maybe I'm
Buffalo.
biased.
I know a lot of Buffalo Bills fans because I used to work with a lot of guys from Buffalo when I worked for Nielsen. Actually, they are even more rabid than we are.
Okay.
And there's actually a lot of similarities between the two cities, both northern climes, both that fan base that's just spectacular. Buffalo's going into a new stadium this year, so they've got that excitement. Maybe that's part of it as well, season ticket base. And my daughter, Chrissy, worked for the Buffalo Bills for a summer when she was out going to school in New York State. This is like the negative side of me. This is the part that people don't like. I'm happy that the Bears are like 20. Because all I hear about from these knuckleheads is, it's the second city and all this. We're so much better than you. Well, yeah, show me something.
But it's interesting because Buffalo Bills was 1 with 208 points, and 100 is the average. Kansas City Chief was 194. Packers were 172. Bengals were after us with 160. Eagles were 151. Los Angeles, 86, New York, 85. And those were the two bottom markets, which is interesting. So I was with my buddy last night who has Wisconsin ties, currently lives in New York, and I hadn't seen him in like a year. And so I was asking him about the New York summer, right? Of like, what are the vibes like in New York right now, especially after the Knicks one? And he goes like, the vibes, this is the best New York has ever felt. But he also said, like, in the comparison of being here when the Bucks won the championship compared to the Knicks, he goes, none of these people are basketball fans. He's like, the amount of people who just all of a sudden decided that they cared, because you get to bigger markets like that, and I think you're not going to have the same rabid fan base because there's too much other stuff to do.
Yeah, the diversity of things you can do.
And like the diversity of how many people there don't even really care about sports.
Yeah.
And so it is interesting if you think about Buffalo, Kansas City, and Green Bay. Although I will say Wisconsin's very lucky to have as many professional sports teams as we do.
We are lucky.
Considering the size of our state.
And other than the Brewers not winning a World Series, performing at a pretty high level.
Mm-hmm.
What I think is interesting beyond that is this Green Bay is it's of all of those top, 100? They're the smallest markets.
Well, they're always the smallest market.
But to accomplish that, given that size,
but I think it's
amazing.
because they're the smallest market.
Nothing else to do. Yeah, I get it.
There's nothing else to do. I also think this is interesting because of how spread out Packer fans are.
Yeah.
Right? Because, you go to everyone's second favorite team is the Packers. Not everyone, but a lot of people.
And it'd be even bigger if they wouldn't have force-fed all those people on the western side of the state, the Minnesota Vikings, all those years, because it's in the Minnesota TV market, which makes absolutely no sense. The bottom line answer on that is you give them both choices, and I can guarantee you every day of the week, every week of the year, the Packers fans would outweigh the Vikings fans if they had a choice. They don't have a choice.
Those poor Wisconsinites.
Quick story, even though we got to go to break. I'm in a golf course, extreme western Wisconsin, and I'm surrounded by Vikings merchandise. And I said
Start itching.
I said to the owners, like, are we in Wisconsin? He goes, yeah. I go, what's with all the Viking stuff? Oh, that's our team. I go, wrong team, wrong state, buddy. We're in Wisconsin. And he took offense to it.
Did he kick you out?
No, I still golfed there. And golfed well that day. All right. And Bob from Waukesha, loyal listener, fan forever. He's a Go Bears guy. I hear you, Bob.
I'm sorry.
I love you, Bob. But enough of that. That's not nonsense.
The Hammond Bears.
Bob says they're super. Yeah, the Hammond Bears. Good luck with that, Bob. Quick break.
Access Legal is now Pivot Work Injury Law, a new name that better reflects our sole focus on helping Wisconsin's injured workers. We have the same mission, the same team, and the same dedication to helping those hurt at work. Our team has handled thousands of cases, recovered more than $50 million for Wisconsin's injured workers, and remains committed to fighting for the benefits you deserve. If work has taken a toll on your body or your quality of life, turn to the team you already know and trust. Visit pivotworkinjurylaw.com today.
Hey, it's WTMJ, Steve Scaffidi. For 70 years, Geist has been the trusted garage authority in Wisconsin. Do not let a broken garage door or opener, which is my case, I'm getting a new opener from Geist. Call my friends at Geist today, like I did, with brands like CHI LiftMaster. They have doors for every budget. I'm not kidding. Every sort of design style and custom designs, if that's what you're looking for, to meet your exact needs on the design side and your budget side. For swift and reliable garage repair solutions, go to geiststores.com. That's GEIS. You can also visit their amazing showroom like I did in Brookfield. It is amazing. Asked to see the opener room. I did, because that's what I was looking for. And the technology's sort of taken over that industry. App technology, certainly the camera technologies. You don't have to guess if you close your garage door or not, or you can close it from wherever you are. Don't think twice. Call Geist. That's GEIS, geiststores.com.
For more than a century, Curative Care has been helping children, adults, and families across southeast Wisconsin navigate developmental disabilities and find the support they need to thrive. Curative helps families every step of the way, from early childhood through adulthood, connecting parents with resources, providing guidance during challenging times, and creating a community where people truly belong. If you know someone who may be looking for answers and support for a loved one with developmental disabilities, visit curative.org today.
We did the math. When you buy bagged mulch from the big guys, you pay $50 a yard. Why pay more for inferior mulch? When you buy from Erickson's, you'll get premium mulch for almost half the cost. And you'll see that even our economy mulch is better, for less than half the cost of bag mulch. And either choice is made with premium colorant that lasts longer. Erickson's Landscape Supply, high-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection. Do you want the economy mulch or the premium? The only real difference is that the premium mulch has thicker strands, while the economy mulch is finer. But the colorant we use for both is of the highest quality, and that's why the color of our mulch lasts longer. And our mulch comes from trees, not pallets, and we process it all in-house. That's why our prices are so low. Erickson's Landscape Supply, high-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection.
The historic Fox and Hound Supper Club near Holy Hill is hiring experienced line cooks and dishwashers. You'll make real money. Night and weekend hours are required. Parents and grandparents, tell your kids. Inquire today, start next week. Google and call the Fox and Hounds today.
Stay informed with what's happening in the Badger State and beyond with Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Today, after 60 years of being in business, Ridgeland Farm now closed, and I was here as the first bus pulled up with the final dogs.
Join us each weekday from noon until 3 p.m. or catch up anytime on our YouTube page or the Wisconsin's Midday News podcast. WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
I asked for some James Taylor today. I like James Taylor. You like James Taylor? Mm-hmm. He's of my era.
Smooth.
He is smooth.
Calming.
It's relaxing. Yeah. What's your go-to relaxing artist in your generation?
Ooh, I mean, there's a fair amount. Lumineers. Mumford & Sons, Abbott Brothers.
One of the Mumford & Sons artists is married to that actress. What is her name? She's really,
Carey Mulligan.
Yes.
We're finishing the second season of Beef right now, and she's in it. She's excellent. She's always excellent.
Great actress.
Noah Khan is a more recent.
You got some good ones.
Yeah. That kind of music is like the lyrical indie. I don't even know if it's rock, but that's kind of my vibe. We're going to see Mumford & Sons in Madison in September.
You're like going to concerts all of a sudden, or is that
I'm a cool mom?
You're a cool. There you go, cool mom, Kristen Bride. Today's show is, we call it Talking Tuesday behind the scenes, but tomorrow is going to be very guest centric. So who's coming up on tomorrow?
We got Tom Content, who is from the Citizens Utility Board, very reliable actor when it comes to talking about energy and data centers. So we're going to talk to him, and we're also going to talk to John Dietrich, who ongoing conversations around gun violence across the state. They have another event coming up, him and James Causey. We're going to have two of their panelists from their event coming up this weekend that I'm really excited about because I think it's directed towards the youths, as we were referencing yesterday.
I love when you say that.
So good. Going to be a good show tomorrow.
All right. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to you being with us as well. Thanks for listening. News is next on 620 WTMJ.
Enjoy life because